Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 12th and final episode of the 2024 Oregon High School Clips of the Week High School Football Officials Training Video. This is the third episode of the playoffs, and like I said, the last episode that we are going to record this year. With this week's clips, we're going to focus on penalty enforcement and game situational awareness. As we all know, we are headed into the semifinals, so games are the utmost importance. And as always, we're not looking to call out or embarrass any individual official, player, association, or school. All clips and rulings have been vetted through Kevin Hatfield, Oregon SRI. And as always, working towards our goal of one rule, one mechanic, and one interpretation. So with that said, let's get to the last episode of this season's Clips of the Week. The first clip we're going to look at involves intentional grounding. And as we should know by now, that intentional grounding is an exception to penalty enforcement when the foul occurs behind the line of scrimmage. And so we're going to notice here that the referee just kind of casually tosses the flag up. So let's watch this play again. And as a reminder, for the passer to be able to legally ground this ball, they have to get outside the free blocking zone, and the pass has to get to the line of scrimmage if there's no eligible receiver. And we see that is clearly not done here. Now, this is a spot foul. So our referee should run to that spot and throw the flag down there. Unfortunately, we get a flag that is about 5 yards off from where the flag should be. Now, the good news is that the crew did get the enforcement right. They did enforce 5 yards from the spot of the foul with a loss of down. So good job there. Just from an optic standpoint, let's make sure that we throw this flag to the spot of the foul. Well, all season we have shown lots of scrimmage kick plays, and that's for good reason. It's usually when something funky happens, and it also can make penalty enforcement difficult. And we're going to watch this play through all the way first, and then we're going to go look at some different components of it. So as we watch this play, we're going to notice that we get a long return, and the player's going to get knocked out inside the 15-yard line. And we get a flag there at the end. But let's go back and watch this play from the beginning. Now, first off, let's talk about mechanics. The wide side of the field is to the line judge's side, so that's the side that the back judge would go to. The head linesman would release once the snap is cleanly possessed, and then once the ball is past the line of scrimmage, our line judge would work downfield. So the crew does an excellent job from a mechanic standpoint on this play. And we want to watch the action against the gunner that's towards the head linesman's side. And we're going to notice that the head linesman calls a foul for holding by the return team during the kick. Now at the end of the kick here, the back judge may have thrown a beanbag. I don't see it on the film, but just a reminder that the back judge should throw a bag where the end of the kick is. And that's going to come in to of the utmost importance here in a little bit. Now the back judge perhaps gets a little too close there. And as this play goes on, the line judge does an excellent job to catch this block in the back, avoids tripping over the player, and then kills the clock. So all in all, this is an excellent job so far by this crew. Now, when reporting these fouls, one of them is clearly during the return, and that's at the end of the play. However, if we go back to the foul that our head linesman caught, this is a foul by the return team during the kick. Now, this is a loose ball play, so typically on a loose ball play, we would go to the previous spot. However, as a reminder, we have PSK, post scrimmage kick enforcement. So we have a foul by the return team during the kick crossed the expanded neutral zone, and the return team will next be the team to put the ball in play. So where should this foul be enforced from? Well, this is why it's important to have a bag down. This foul is enforced from the end of the kick, right around the 40 or 41. So again, I don't know if we have a beanbag down here by the back judge. And again, the play is going to go off for a long run. And if we look at the next play on film, unfortunately, the crew enforced this 10 yards from the spot of the hold and not from the end of the kick. This results in about 25 yards for the advantage of the return team here. So it's important that on penalty enforcement that we communicate as a crew. There is no need to rush penalty enforcement. And somebody on this crew could have stepped up and realized that we should have had PSK enforcement. This is a really well officiated play, and this play shows the importance of being able to understand where the foul occurred and having really good flag placement when throwing a flag for a spot foul. We're going to get an interception in the end zone, and our line judge does an excellent job of picking up an illegal blindside block that is outside the end zone around the 1 yard line. Now, as this play develops, we're going to see excellent hustle by the crew. In fact, our line judge is now caught up. He's going to throw a second flag for another illegal block by a member of the defense here. But if we go back to where the blindside block occurred, again, this is an excellent pickup by the line judge and also excellent flag placement here to have the flag near where this foul occurred. The reason why this is important, had this blindside block occurred in the end zone, that would have resulted in a safety against the intercepting team. So just a really excellent job by the crew here for their hustle and by this line judge picking up the blindside block and having a great placement on their flag. So we're going to look at a couple different free clips in this week's episode, and I apologize that this clip is not very good because the clip starts well after the actual kick occurs. And so we're just going to watch this in slow motion here in a second, but this is when the clip starts. And again, I apologize for the poor film, but it is a really good clip to show in one way. And that's these bunch kicks or scrum kicks, whatever you want to call them here. These are dangerous plays, and these are illegal per our SRI. And we can reference Rule 614. This should be penalized as a dead ball free kick infraction. Looking at this clip, and we don't have the end zone angle, there is no way to determine whether or not we have 4 players on either side of the kicker. Of course, at this point, we're not sure which player is even the kicker, but if faced with a situation like this and a team running this type of kick, we need to kill this immediately. And this would be the referee's call because they're the ones that's responsible for determining whether or not we have 4 players on either side of the kicker at the time of the kick. But these are dangerous plays. Let's shut this down immediately. We're going to penalize it 5 yards from the previous spot and re-kick. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, we want to look at penalty enforcement and also game situational awareness. So this is from a first round game, and we can't really see on the scoreboard here, but it's a 2-score game late in the 4th quarter, about 5 or 6 minutes left. So the crew correctly is in onside formation here. And the line judge has jumped the center judge just like they're supposed to. And our head linesman has come up to be on the returner's restraining line at the 50-yard line. So we're going to watch this, and we are going to get an onside kick. And let's just watch it all the way through first. And what we're going to see is that the kick is first touched by the return team, and ultimately it's going to be recovered by a member of the kicking team. And all the players have reacted as if this was a good onside kick. So now let's go back, and we're going to pause it at the time of the kick here. All the players of K are onside. No one is encroaching. However, we are going to get a flag by the line judge well after the kick for encroachment by the kicking team. And as a reminder, if we have encroachment by a member of the kicking team, we need to kill this right away. We do not let the play go. So what ends up happening here is this ball is ultimately recovered by a member of the kicking team. And then it's only right about now that we're actually going to get an idea that the line judge had a member of the kicking team encroaching. So let's watch this play one more time with the sound on, and let's listen for when the whistle actually occurs.
Onside kick by the Hawks.
So the whistle doesn't sound until well after the kick has been recovered. So just a reminder, especially for the wing officials that are having to come up and work onside mechanics, if you have a member of the kicking team or the return team encroaching, kill the play right away. So this clip is also one that shows excellent game awareness and penalty enforcement. As we can see here, it's 44-39 with about 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The team on offense is ahead, and the quarterback is waiting for the back judge to raise their hand. They're going to drop back. They do not get outside the free blocking zone, and they throw a pass outside the back of the end zone. So we go back to the beginning here. The home team is out of timeouts, so they can't call a timeout. They could take a delay of game here, but they're in an offensive formation. So our antenna should be up here. And this is simply a pass out of the back of the end zone, and there is no eligible receiver whatsoever. So while this pass crossed the line of scrimmage, the quarterback did not get outside the free blocking zone. The crew did an absolutely amazing job here in calling this intentional grounding. I think this is a call that a lot of officials would miss. Now, this results in a 5-yard penalty, and it's also a loss of down. So this was 4th down, and this would be enforced. And now we would, because there's some time left, turn the ball over on downs, and the team that is trailing is going to be able to run another play. And here is that play. Now, this is the last play of the game, and this is just another excellent job by this crew. And what we're going to notice on this play is that the quarterback drops back. They're going to scramble around. They eventually become a runner, and they're going to throw a pass here. And the question is whether or not this pass that's coming up is going to be forward or backward. But let's pause here and notice the positioning of our wings. They are well downfield, almost even with the runner. And they're both going to have a flag here for an illegal forward pass. And so if we go back and watch this again in slow motion, we're going to pause it about the time the passer releases the ball. Now, first off, it looks like the passer's knee is down. Now, in real speed, that's going to be very difficult to see. But the passer is around the 32. Their arm is about the 31.5. And as we watch this, the pass does go forward and is caught between the 30 and the 31. And again, we're going to get a flag by both officials here. Now, the player goes in and scores what appears to be the game-winning touchdown. However, this is an illegal forward pass. And the penalty for an illegal forward pass includes a loss of down. And when we have a penalty on the last play of a quarter that includes a loss of down, we do not run another play with an untimed down. So just a really good job by this crew on back-to-back plays in a very close playoff game. So as we move into some game situational awareness plays, one of the old adages we have is no cheap scores and no cheap turnovers. And we especially want to adhere to that as we move into the semifinal and championship rounds. And we're going to notice on this play that we have a runner that is going to get stood up and their forward progress is stopped. Now, first off, before we show it, we want to watch the action here by the line. This is illegal. That should be a false start. We have shown this play before the season. It was in the most recent SRI bulletin. This sort of action here, where the line stands up and then goes down, that should be a false start. Regardless what the defense does, that's a false start. Let's start calling this. Now, as we watch this play, we're going to notice that the runner, their forward progress is stopped. And in fact, they are picked up. The ball is going to come loose during that, and then this player gets slammed to the ground. So again, let's just watch that again. Pretty hard not to have your forward progress stop when you are literally picked up. So the crew let this play go. Now the offense recovered this, but we should have had forward progress stopped, and then we should have had a dead ball personal foul for the body slam here by the defense. So a few things to look at on this play. Number one, the action by the line is illegal. That's a false start. Call it. Then know when you have forward progress stopped, and that should be a personal foul. So again, game situational awareness. This is the very last play of the game. The team that is an offense is trailing by 2. It looks like the ball is inside the 1 yard line. Our wing should be coming in hard on this play if we do not have a clear touchdown or if the runner is clearly tackled behind the line of scrimmage. So let's watch this play. And we're going to notice that he gets stood up right away. And our head linesman comes in, and they have 1 foot in the end zone and 1 foot out. So just a reminder for the wings that are coming in here, stay outside the end zone until you are going to make your signal. And if you have a touchdown, that's fine. Go up with the touchdown. But don't come running in with part of your body in the end zone, because it's going to look bad if you signal this short. Now, here's the other thing. Again, this is the last play of the game. We never see our line judge come in, and we'd love to see them come in past the hash mark. We need our wings to come in and sell this call. Both wings had the runner short of the end zone. We certainly can't tell from this angle whether or not that call is right, but from an optics and mechanics standpoint, let's run in hard here and let's make a signal. Well, that is it for 2024. I wanted to say a few thank yous before we sign off for the season. First off, thank you to all the coaches out there throughout the state of Oregon who send in film. While we don't get film from every game and we would love to, we do get film from a lot of games, and we use it for a variety of purposes. And to all of the coaches who share their film with officials each week, we really appreciate it. I'd also like to thank all of the officials from around the state that have sent in clips throughout the season. It certainly makes our jobs a lot easier and helps us reduce the amount of time to put these videos together. So thank you to all of the officials from around the state for sending in those clips. I'd especially like to thank George Spicer of the Lane County Football Officials Association, Neil Ryden and Mike Patton out of Salem, Steve Westerberg out of Central Oregon, and Mike Baker out of Rogue Valley, who handled their association's huddle accounts. And all of us work together throughout the year to share film and to find clips that we can put in these clips of the week video. I'd also like to thank Chris Welch from the OSAA for sending out the clips each week. And finally, special thank yous to Oregon SRI, Kevin Hatfield, who goes through all of the clips we find and offers his thoughts and rulings on every clip. And to Chris Cadell and Matt Rosenberg of the Portland Football Officials Association. Those two, along with me, put together these videos, and Chris and Matt spend a lot of hours each week doing the production. With all of our efforts, we average about 8 hours a week to produce about a 15-minute video. and we hope that you find those valuable. This is a labor of love for us. None of us get paid anything to do this. We all simply want to get better as officials, and I can't thank Chris and Matt enough for all of their effort. And with that said, this is Tony Fox of the Portland Football Officials Association signing off for 2024. To the teams and the officials working the semifinals and championship games, best of luck, and we'll talk to you next season.